And then we enter dysfunctional food system. We are fed with dysfunctional food system. And then we enter dysfunctional religions and spirituality that's basically implant-based. And then we enter dysfunctional marriage system. And then there's three types of people. Some people who go into recovery and question patterns in society. And they've done some spiritual recovery. The second one is status quo. They remain in the convention. They don't question it. And then the third one, people who are more addicted. They don't comply, but they know exactly what's going on. And all of us get trapped in the rat race. And some of us find refuge, a more peaceful life. Others remain in the workforce. And then by the time we're 50, 60, we get sick. And then we enter dysfunctional retirement homes. And then in the center, all of this, what I'm saying, is on my website. On the bottom chapter, Functional versus Dysfunctional Society, I explain exactly what happens to your brain, how it's mind controlled. When you muscle test a person who has come out of the educational system, it says mind control. The kinesiological, it says mind control. All dysfunctions and that goes on in the bioorganic body is still stored. The delusion is that, I'm recovering from it because I'm in the New Age, or I'm just doing this healing modality. That only recovers a very small amount. And the second DNA level clears a lot of the dysfunctional abandonment that we went through in the dysfunctional home system and in the educational system. It heals the brain and the DNA and the emotional body. So the vibration of a human being is cleared from a fear-based matrix. So that's a second level DNA. And when you look in the center, we have a military, jails, parliament, laws, justice, CAA, a corrupt system that exploits people and doesn't support the needs of the people. And I've compared it to a benevolent system, which you will see on that chapter. A benevolent system would never use punishment in a society, where this society is based on punishment. And that is a real negative. And then they have a military who basically, have the legal right to kill innocent children, families, and get away with it. And they put innocent women who are abused by their husbands. They're put in jail for life. So all of this is on my website. You will see how our bioorganic body is actually mind controlled, and it is conditioned. If you use muscle testing, you will see how much trauma we have in our bodies, and this needs to be rehabilitated. This is my message, and we can know all the Illuminati information in the world. We can know all this information, but it doesn't change our predominant vibration, and the vibration needs to be changed. And I also wrote a little bit about that. Recovery in itself does not clear the alterations in the DNA. I also want to dispel some people think, chanting or raw foods and their healing modality clears the DNA. And unless you are specifically working on the DNA and have done extensive research on the DNA and the bioorganic body, that's different. But what chanting and all these healing modalities do in vibrational sound, it corrects some of the DNA, but it doesn't deactivate the alterations, the cursed virus, and so forth in the DNA. So find ways, real ways.
Go ahead. Did you want to finish that sentence?
So I'm just saying, we have to be really realistic about the situation at hand.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. That's quite a good summation, and I appreciate you doing that. What we will do is we'll close this down with you at this time, and we're going to move on, and the show will be ending then shortly after that. But thank you very much, Asalaria, for coming on with me to
Thank you so much.
Whistleblower Radio. And please say your website again for the listeners.
It's aliberalis.org, ALIBERALIS, aliberalis.org. You can find more information there, and if you're interested in a crystal necklace or other crystals, have a look under crystal aliberalis necklaces.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on the show with me today, and we will be back in touch with you at some point in the future, I'm sure, and please let us know how your research continues.
I sure will, and my research continues, and I like working with others in a team spirit. Any other DNA healing modality is welcome. I'd like to know about it, and we're here to help each other.
Okay, thanks so much. At this time, we're going to be going to listen to a recording of Chicago. It is a remake of the song Chicago by Graham Nash that has been re-released by Gary McKinnon, and the freegary.co.uk website is offering this CD for a small amount of sale, I believe. And the cause is actually for Gary McKinnon. If you're aware of who Gary McKinnon is, he is the hacker who hacked into the Pentagon and NASA. And so I wanted everyone to be aware of what is going on with him at this present time. Hold on, we seem to be getting a bit of a echo here. Okay, that probably cleared it up. So at any rate, we are going to be listening to that. I am going to be releasing an interview in the next few days with Gary McKinnon's mother. Her name is Janice Sharp. She has been leading the cause and the fight to keep Gary McKinnon from being extradited to the U.S. For the reason they are very concerned in having Gary extradited is because of the draconian measures that are used in the U.S. justice system, such that it's very likely that he would end up in, if not Guantanamo Bay, then a lockdown prison in which they would no longer have contact with him. So they're very concerned over the Gary McKinnon situation, and you can research more of it by watching our video on ProjectCamelot.org or ProjectCamelotPortal.com. My interview with Gary McKinnon was done when really in the early days of Camelot, and it's about 2 or 3 years old at this point, but it's a very good interview. And Gary was in high spirits at that time. Since that time, he has gone through incredible challenges, and I think that his mental state has gone at times to become slightly depressed, but you know, he's been hanging in there with the help of his mother and all the supporters in England that are at his side. So I'm going to be playing this just to raise the awareness of the song. And I think that just in terms of legalities, we can only play maybe, say, 2 minutes of it, and then we would probably have to take it off at that time. But I do want to make you aware of it, and if you like the song, if you're interested in supporting the cause, please do go to freegary.co.uk, I believe is the website, and learn more about him. And as I say, I'll be releasing a new interview with Janice Sharp, Gary McKinnon's mother, in the next few days. So stay tuned for that. Currently, I also have a recent interview with Andy Lloyd. We made a trip to England in which I was able to do several interviews, and among them was the Andy Lloyd interview in which he talks about not only the dark star, which he believes a brown dwarf or second sun is actually part of our solar system, and explains why. But he researched that for over 10 years and has a background in science. But he also has turned to writing novels about the Anunnaki and what he believes may be some of the things going on behind the scenes. So I encourage you to listen to the interview. It's quite fascinating how he's taken a turn in his research to begin to expose things using fiction as opposed to nonfiction. So that's a really interesting approach. At any rate, the show is winding down now, and I thank you for listening. We are now going to play that song, which is Chicago, the remake. And this is in support of the Gary McKinnon cause. And this is Carrie Cassidy, Project Camelot, Whistleblower Radio.